Hello, welcome to the stream. Today we are trying out another journaling game. This time it is Carved by the Garden, which has been on my list for a while, but I just haven't got around to playing it yet. And what's really bothering me right now is, well, I should explain the premise of the game first, because then that will help understand what's bothering me. So, in this game, we play a person who is drawn to the nearby woods, who goes out for really long walks, and people are getting concerned about how much time we're spending in the woods, and they prevail upon us to keep a diary of what we're doing, and we will end up being devoured by the woods, most likely. What's really annoying me is that I've read a short story with basically this premise. It's a kind of horror or gothic, I guess, short story where it's this guy and his wife, possibly some servants, this is an old-timey short story, living in the English countryside, I think, next to a big forest. And the guy is obsessed with the forest. He has all of the windows open at night so he gets the breeze coming in, blowing over the trees. He goes out for really long walks. He spends hours out there, and eventually he does become a thing of the forest. And I can't remember the name of the short story, but it's so close to the game. I know I've got it somewhere in a book downstairs. That's why I was late starting stream today. I was looking around trying to find this short story, and I can't find it. I thought it was in one of my short story collections by Handheld Press, which is a small publisher that did collections of kind of older stories, but it's not any of them, so it must be one of my other collections of short stories, and I just can't find it, and I'm going to have to look for it after stream because it's going to bother me until I can find it. But it was a very good story. Anyway, we're going to play Carved by the Garden, which I have the physical copy of. We're going to use the PDF, for ease of reading on stream, but the physical copy did come with some stickers, which I've got here in the dice tray. So I have this skull. It's like a horse skull, I guess. Is it a horse skull? Some sort of animal skull with flowers on it. The same thing on the cover. I've got this hand thing, which looks like maybe like a fungal spore pattern on part of it. And I've got this one, Catch and Release Me, with some sort of fish monster, which I think might be related to another game by the same designer. I can't remember. It's a while since I bought this. I believe to play it, we will need a deck of cards, we will need a D6, and we need a Jenga tower, which we'll be simulating with this set of 100 D6s here, which, well, just to show how it works. We use the same thing for pirouette, maybe not this exact simulator, but the same sort of thing where we'll roll and everything that comes up a 1 gets eliminated, and so this kind of models the tower gradually collapsing. Although I think, as I remarked at the time, it kind of has the opposite feeling to a proper Jenga tower, because with D6s you're going to eliminate 1/6 of the dice every time, and so at the beginning you're throwing away a lot of dice at a time, which feels quite scary, but then towards the end you might only have 1 die left and it takes quite a while to eliminate it. Whereas with a Jenga tower, in the beginning the moves feel very safe, the tower is still very stable, but towards the end it feels like every block you pull could be the end. So just interesting how even though it may have roughly the same duration, it has a kind of different feel to it. But let's get into it. It's quite a short book. It is, for some reason I can't see the total number of pages in my PDF reader. That's odd. It's like 40 pages or something. It's pretty short. So I'll read through the intro and then we'll play the game, and we'll see what happens to our character. Will we survive? I don't even know if survival is possible in this game. We might just have to die. And it says on the back that it is a 1 to 3 hour game. So, we'll see how it goes. If we get through it quickly, maybe we'll play a second game. But yeah, I've not played it at all, so looking forward to seeing what it is. Right, start with a quote from Sheridan Le Fanu, who was he the... God, what else did he write? He wrote something... Oh, I'm in a terrible book mood today. He wrote something very important. Carmilla, that's what he wrote, yeah. He wrote Carmilla. Anyway, this is not a quote from Carmilla. Let not my southern reader who associates ideas of comfort with the term cottage mistake. This thing is built of shingle, with low walls. Its thatch is hollow. The peat smoke curls stingily from its stunted chimney. It is worthy of its savage surroundings. Neat. I don't think I've read that story. To play, you will need a standard deck of cards with the jokers, so I've got my cool looking cards that I used for Lichdom. I've taken out the Tarot, Major Arcana and the Page cards, so it is just a standard deck of cards with jokers. Now let's just shuffle this. We need a 6-sided die, which we have. We need 8 small pieces of nature to act as tokens. I don't have those. We'll just make notes on the whiteboard. We need a tumbling block tower. We have our alternative. And something to write in, which we have got. So I think we are ready to get started. And the cards have trees on, which, you know, is fitting. This is by Cassie Mothwin, who I believe has done something else, which I considered picking up when I bought this game. I thought I would, you know, just try this one first. Yes, Tangled Blessings is the other game by Cassie Mothwin, which is also a solo game, I believe. Let's just have a quick look. Tangled Blessings, a 1 to 2 player magical school horror game. Let's see, it uses tarot cards. So yes, I may well check this out if we have a good time with Carved by the Garden. Right, so we have some credits. It is based on The Wretched, which I think Pirouette was as well, because it's the Wretched system, the Wretched and Alone system that uses this Jenga tower thing. So maybe I should check that out. I don't actually know what The Wretched is. It also suggests background music, Black Hill and Silent Island. I think that's on my YouTube. I've got like a playlist on YouTube of stuff I like that I've not yet bought on CD. I'm pretty sure that's there. It is a good album if it is what I'm thinking of. But I imagine I can't play that on stream, sadly. So we'll just have some Witch Bolts on, which is, you know, still somewhat appropriate. We're all just part of the cycle, and I am ready to bloom. There are horrors within these pages, and you are one of them. So it is a disturbing game with elements of fear, isolation, suspense, despair, violence, self-harm, claustrophobia, drowning, fire, stalking, gaslighting, allusions to cannibalism, snakes, insects, birds, spiders, body horror, suicide, abuse, lust, light sexual themes, and death. Obviously I will, you know, tone things down to be appropriate for stream, but the PDF is there, so if there's something horrifying, you may see that with your eyes, even if I don't really, you know, read it out loud. Right, so the situation. Those you live with are worried for you. Every day you wander into the woods, alone. When you return at dusk, a wild shadow lingers in your steps. Those you live with wish to stop you, but their efforts have proved useless. You always find a way or a reason to return to the woods. Those you live with offer a compromise. Journal each day about your experiences. Those you live with promise they won't read your journal unless there is a night you don't come home. They beg you to be honest in your journal. You agree, but you wonder if they'll believe what they read. Right, what is this? Carved by the Garden is a structured journaling game where you document your character's likely last days in the nearby woods. Okay, we're probably not making it out of this alive. We love the woods, we fear the woods. You get the sense your unchaperoned visits to the wilds are nearing an end. You must make the most of the time you have left. So we will play by rolling a die, drawing cards from the deck, resolving the events So the latter half of this book, which I've not looked at because it tells you not to read, is all prompts for the cards. We will pull blocks from our legally distinct digital Jenga alternative, and we will keep a journal here, which let's just move the game title. Let's put this over here. We can have the journaling over on this open space we got here. Who are the Wicked Woods? The woods are vast and mostly unmapped. Some landmarks exist in the minds of locals, but interestingly enough, no one can agree exactly where to find them. History and legends about the woods differs from person to person, religion to religion, and evidence to evidence. As soon as researchers feel like they've unlocked a path to the past, additional resources reveal their proposed truths to be inaccurate. This game is written with the idea that cell phones don't exist yet, but if you want the setting close to the present day, there isn't a signal in the woods. Many will agree, however, that there is something strange about these woods. The setting doesn't have a specific season, but the liminal space surrounding the autumnal equinox may prove inspirational. Okay. Yeah, autumn works. I was thinking it could maybe be summer, kind of like it is in the real world, but I feel spooky woods, the night's getting darker, it being a bit cool at night, I think that's more appropriate. Who are you? You are human, for now. You reside at the back of a dead-end road in the middle of the woods. You share your home with people who care about you, but they're afraid of what you get up to in the woods. They know they can't control or stop you, but they don't want to lose you. You're a mud child, a wild woman, a dangerous man, a creature of the branches. Answer these questions about your character. Okay, let's have somewhere to... Let's see, can we fit this in? If we shrink this down, we can put like our character details just below it, maybe. Okay, what draws you... Nah, it's going to take up more space than we've really got here. That's fine. Okay, right, so what draws you to the woods each day? Who do you live with? Why do they wish you to stop visiting the woods? What would you do if you didn't go into the woods? And what do you fear in the woods? And those are... Okay. We have some suggestions as well. Yeah, let's read through these and then we'll answer the questions. So, alternative reasons for your character to visit the woods. If the dark allure of the sun-dappled forest floor isn't enough motivation for your character, here are a few other ideas to pull them in. Or maybe one of these is why you started going to the woods, and now you can't stop. You're a hunter or a forager, and your journal is a catalogue of animal dens and potential harvests before it's not. You make daily deliveries and must pass through the woods to reach your customers. Your journal is your delivery log with extra notes. You're a cartographer, and you're making a map. Your journal details your geographic findings until they no longer make sense. I once ran a Dolmenwood campaign where the premise was that the players were cartographers sent by the ruler of the wider realm in which the Dolmenwood was a part to make accurate maps of it. That was a fun game. Sadly, it ended with the entire party being killed by a basilisk, and no one really wanted to continue after that. Maybe you're a scientist researching the area after hearing rumours of a new species. Your journal tracks the creature before you get distracted by other happenings. You want to run away, so you're planning a safe path through the woods, hiding gear and tools within. At first, your journal details equipment locations. Someone you know went missing and you're part of the search crew. Your journal details where you've searched, and each day it gets more unhinged. Or, finally, maybe you're a kid or teen with too much time on your hands. Your family doesn't make enough money to afford extracurricular activities or expensive gadgets, so the woods are your only form of entertainment. Your journal is filled with stories that may or may not make sense. Okay, I'm thinking... maybe I started, walking in the woods. That text is too big. Let us shrink that. So why do we go... What draws us to the woods? Right. So let's shrink that and fix the positioning I've just broken. That's close enough. So what draws us to the woods each day? I think we feel like a compulsion to explore. Like maybe it started as just nature walks, but now it's kind of morphed into like a need to go out there. Who do you live with? Let's say a partner. Why do they wish you'd stop visiting the woods? I think we are spending a really long time in the woods every day. We come back like pretty late in the evening. Like we go out into the woods like earlier and earlier in the day. We're now going out into the woods in the morning, and we're coming back like late evening with like twigs in our hair and so on. What would you do if you didn't go into the woods? Maybe get just like really restless. Like restless very quickly. Like an intense case of cabin fever after like just a couple of days. Probably leads to like being irritable, angry. And what do you fear in the woods? I think it's got to be tied to what draws me into the woods. Like, let's say there's something strange out there, and I feel a compulsion to know what it is and to understand it, but it also scares me. How to play. Set up our tumbling block tower. Done. Roll the die once and pull the number of blocks you roll. This represents that your connection to the woods is already starting to sever. I don't want my connection to sever. I want to be part of the woods forever. 3. Okay, we started with 100 dice, we're down to 48. Okay, so the game is divided into days. You walk in the woods. Every day has 2 phases, the events and the journal. The events we roll, so we roll out d6. We draw that many cards from our deck, placing them face down without looking at them. Flip over the first card and find its prompts. Complete any task that it tells you to do. Continue flipping until we've flipped all of them over, and discard all the cards unless instructed otherwise. And then at night, you return home before dusk every day and record your experiences in a journal. Write about what happened and what you feel, answering the questions presented in the card prompts. You don't have to answer the questions if they don't feel relevant, and the events don't have to happen in the order you draw cards. If you like, you can use an alternative to journal. I'm just going to journal, I think. Well, we'll do my usual thing of, talking out loud as I write. Then shuffle the deck of cards and place it within reach. Record your first journal entry using the... Oh, right, yes, I see. That's how we begin. We shuffle the deck of cards and place it within reach. Okay, it is shuffled. It is placed within reach. Alright, so we'll start the game with day 2. So we start by recording a journal entry for day 1. Let's scroll across horizontally here. Let's get an appropriately handwriting-like font. Yeah. There we go. Dear spouse. I should have a name for this spouse. Let's go to the fantasy... I don't really want a fantasy name, Jen. I just want like a normal name. Mary. Dear Mary, you've asked that I record my daily activities in these woods. You're afraid I might be kidnapped, get lost, or worse. You promised not to read this diary, and only to use it should I not come home by sundown. I agree that the woods are dangerous, but I know how to stay safe. I love the woods, and the woods love me. Okay, so it says losing your connection to the woods is the most likely outcome of this game. If the tumbling tower falls before the woods adopt you, turn to the abandoned section on page 35. Okay, I don't want to lose my connection. I want to be adopted by the woods. Please, woods, take me in. Okay, right. So, hearts are bonds. Your roots go deep, but would they die for you? Diamonds, supernatural. It's addictive. You cannot take magic with you. Club, factions. Not everyone gets along. You knew this was never a paradise. Spades, earth. We all come from dirt. Nourishing, suffocating. Everything you encounter is real. The shadows, the creatures, the inexplicable. This game takes place during the day, with you returning home each night, but the bright lights and shifting branches make it easy for horrors to blend in with the wilderness. You can only assume it becomes much worse at night. Don't miss your curfew. If at any time you feel a character has seen enough and has been swayed to stay away from the woods, turn to Severed Ties on page 35. That's not going to happen. Okay, so we have 2 endings available at the beginning. If the tower falls, we are abandoned by the woods. If we choose to leave, we take Severed Ties, but it says that we can unlock more paths as we play. Right. Okay. Check the music. Let's put on... yeah, The Piece of Wild Things is a good album for this, I think. Okay, right, I guess we'll turn to these things as we get them. So, the rules. Well, we roll a die, we draw the cards, we resolve the prompts. Okay. Right, day 2, here we go. 6. Oof. Okay, right, let's draw 6 cards face down, and then let's just flip over the first card. So I guess we'll play them in the order that we draw them. What an amazing time for an ad break, right? As the game begins. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will actually take advantage of this ad break to go top up my drink, because I foolishly did not do so before stream. Too busy looking for the short story that this game reminds me of. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Okay, let's get to it. Right, first card is the 9 of Clubs. You tripped. Your hands catching you in the mud and sinking in deep. Grime splattered across your clothes and face as you freed yourself. When you rinsed your arms, you realised a black stain from the mud remained no matter how hard you scrubbed. What shape did the black stain take? Has anyone ever claimed you? Okay, let's just jot down some bullet points which we will then turn into our journal entry. Left a stain. I guess on my sleeve. Okay. Then we have the 5 of Spades. Spades is dirt from which all life springs. It's worth more than you. Stacks in the middle of a dried up pond, you spotted dozens, if not hundreds, of sun-bleached turtle shells. Yep, turtles. In the forest. You could tell the shells had been stacked around something, and closer investigation revealed a huge hatched egg covered in blood that emitted a putrid smell. What creature could have made this? Who have you failed to protect? Pull from the tower. Okay. Oh, that's creepier than I first thought. For some reason I was thinking of like the shells of turtle eggs, but it's probably the actual shells of the turtles. Okay, hundreds of stacks, turtle shells around. A hatched egg covered in blood. These woods are creepy. Okay, what could have done this? Who have you failed to protect? Next we have the 4 of clubs. Clubs are factions. There was a tickle in your throat and a burning sensation in your chest. A thick wet cough overtook you, and you expelled several dozen centipedes mixed with your blood. Why do you think a part of you constantly aches? How do you heal your insides? Pull from the tower. Down to 33 dice now. Coughed up blood and centipedes. Why do I constantly ache? How will I heal? Queen of clubs. You found a giant tree without leaves. Its mass of roots spread out above ground, holding the hollow trunk aloft so it towered above you. The inside of the trunk was large enough to hold a bear, and a black scar marked the inside. Scorched symbols were carved into the exposed roots. Where have you seen these symbols before? Was this tree a coffin or a womb? This is an intense first day in the woods, I feel. I saw a giant leafless tree, hollow trunk, large enough to hold a bear. Symbols in the roots. Where have I seen the symbols? Was this a coffin or a womb? Right, now we have the 8 of diamonds. Diamonds is the supernatural, so we just saw weird stuff until now, not supernatural stuff. An inexplicable headache robs you of your faculties and you collapsed on the ground. As you endured the pain, the sounds of chanting surrounded you. Bow to the old gods. Provide for the old gods. Why did you find a knife covered with blood in your hands? Have you ever enjoyed the comforts of violence? Keep this card. The next time you're told to pull from the tower, discard this card instead. Nice. Put that there on the side. Okay. Collapsed with bad headache, heard chanting. Why do I have a bloody knife? Have I ever enjoyed violence? And finally we have the Queen of Hearts. It's our last card for this first day. Hearts are bonds. There are many bonds that take you to the woods every day. Sometimes you find the owner of a bond, sometimes you don't. Still, every day you look. You're most beautiful when you bleed. To combat invasive plants and large insect populations, the woods undergo controlled burns as needed. You didn't know one was scheduled for today, and the fire nearly caught you, chasing you into a deep creek. The sounds of screaming surrounded you. Why is the scent of your burnt flesh recognizable? What omens do you see in the smoke? Pull from the tower. No, I won't, because I get to discard this instead. Okay. Caught up in a controlled burn. Hear screaming. Why can I smell my unburnt flesh? What omens do I see in the smoke? Okay, let's try to come up with something here. Let's begin with Dear Mary again. Dear Mary, right, so we don't necessarily have to do these things in order. It said we can also maybe, so we could shuffle things around or just be inspired by things, so I'm thinking maybe we combine the tripping in the mud with the collapsing with the headache. Like, we had this terrible headache, and the mud is also slippery, and we just like collapse onto the ground. We get all stained by the mud with this weird mark. We hear this weird chanting. When we kind of come to, that's when, like, on our hands and knees, we cough up the blood and centipedes. This could be... feels like this should be around... Maybe we should find one of these weird things beforehand. Like, we find the weird thing, and then we get in this bad mental space where there's blood, centipedes, chanting, knives. It's not a good time. Then we see the other weird thing, and then finally we get caught in this controlled burn. I'm thinking maybe, since there's weird symbols here, maybe this is what we see first, which kind of maybe sets the whole thing off. So we find this large hollow tree with weird symbols all over it, and have some feeling for some reason that something was born from this hollow tree. As we leave this place, we start to feel kind of dizzy and woozy, and like stumble and collapse in the mud, like splitting headache as this is happening. The whole weird chanting knife thing happens. We cough up some blood and centipedes, and like when we like get up after a while on the ground, we wander around some more. We find the stacked turtle shells. Don't have time to look at this because then this fire comes out of nowhere. Okay, how do we turn this into a diary entry without Dear Mary immediately deciding we need to be locked up for our own good? Dear Mary, today I found a hollow tree. Big enough to hold a bear. I think. I'm not sure if the wood has bears. Oh, I've not seen a bear in the woods. I mean, I've not decided where in the world this is happening. If this is happening in like England, finding a bear in the woods would be quite unusual. I don't think we even have. I'm pretty sure we don't have any bears at all in this country. Yes, no wild bears. Went extinct in the British Isles about 1,000 years ago. So it's be very unusual to find a bear in the woods. So, Dear Mary, today I found a hollow tree, big enough to hold a bear, I think. I've not seen a bear in the woods. It had symbols scratched into the roots that felt familiar. Made me think something had come out of the tree. When I left, I felt dizzy. So I guess I've not really answered this question, where have I seen these symbols? I've said they felt familiar. Maybe we'll come back to that later. We might see something and we're like, oh, that's where we've seen the symbols before. When I left, I felt dizzy. I stumbled. When I left dizzy, I had a bit of a headache. I had a headache starting. And I slipped and fell over in the mud. It hurt so bad. Oh, my head hurt so bad. Everything around me blurred. Went blurry. I've never had a migraine, but I believe that is a symptom that they can, or an effect that they can have. You know, distorted vision. My head hurt so bad, everything around me went blurry. I heard voices. I saw figures, maybe. They were telling me to what exactly was it? Can't remember which one of these it was. It was something to do with the old gods. Was it like sacrifice to the old gods or something? Let's see. Was it the Eight of Diamonds? Yes. To provide for the old gods, and I saw a knife in my hand. A bloody knife. It was the only thing I could focus on. When I came out of it, or as I came out of it, I threw up on the earth. There were centipedes in my vomit. Live centipedes. So, oh god, there were live centipedes in my vomit. Okay, so we've got the leafless tree. Have I ever enjoyed violence? I saw a bloody knife in my hand. Okay, focus on. It made me think of, have I ever enjoyed violence? I don't think I have. I don't feel this is a violent character. I think they're a pretty normal person who's been caught up in something weird. It hurts. Let's see. Those nice centipedes in my vomit. I think I can feel them moving around inside. I just need to throw them all up. When I finally got to my feet, I was covered in mud and couldn't wash it all off. Left a mark like a hand. Around one arm. Around one sleeve. Let's see, it's the left hand you wear a wedding ring on, right? I think it is. Let's say it was on my left sleeve. Because this character has a spouse, this Mary, so they have been claimed by someone. Okay, we got that. Right. Okay, so next we have the turtle shells. I staggered away, and see, I know, could smell blood. And I just want to say I found a second weird thing. I want there to be some more connection. So I staggered away, and tried to head, like staggered away in the direction of home. But I must have gotten turned around. I ended up somewhere else in a little clearing with hundreds of turtle shells. No turtles. Piled up around some sort of giant eggshell. Like an ostrich egg, but bigger. It's covered in blood. And broken. Who have I failed to protect? Made me think of... I mean, maybe the natural, obvious interpretation here is... a dead child. You know, giant bloody egg. Dead child. Potentially. If we go straight for dead child, though, that doesn't leave much room for escalation with the horrors. I mean, that's pretty up there as far as personal horrors go. Maybe like a dead pet then. I'm not sure what sort of pet, maybe like an egg-laying pet. Maybe think of Monty. Monty is the first pet name that came to mind. Maybe think of Monty, who died trying to lay an egg. Died straining trying to lay an egg. Do you remember? I must have still been in a daze. Because suddenly the clearing was on fire. A controlled burn. I ran for it. I could hear screaming somewhere. And smell burnt flesh. It's incredibly tropey, but I'm tempted to go for the I heard screaming and then I realised it was me. And I realised it was me screaming and my burnt flesh. Okay, that's day 2. We don't have that many dice left in our dice tower, so we may not be long for the woods. Okay, and then we discard these. Right, day 3. 6 cards again, oh my god. We're gonna be horribly killed by the woods, like, in less than a week. Okay. We start with the 10 of diamonds. As you pulled your foot from the thick mud, you revealed a human face. Each step you took revealed another face, featuring large, toothy grins and wide eyes. They did not speak, but as you struggled to move through the mud, the faces laughed. Did you recognise any of the faces? Who have you stepped on to get what you want? Pull from the tower. Okay. 27 dice left. Faces beneath the mud. They laughed. Did I recognise any? Who have I stepped on to get what I want? We have the 7 of Hearts. The pile of dolls in the middle of the woods didn't make sense. The dolls are all made of corn husks and twine and piled as high as you are tall. Did you keep any of the dolls? How many of them look like you? Pull from the tower. Obviously, they've all got to look like me, right? That's the creepiest option. We then have the 10 of spades. Clubs, rather. One day I'll remember which is which out of spades and clubs, but not this day. 10, yes. You followed the smell of smoke and found several people gathered around a fire that looked like a funeral pyre. One of the onlookers asked you to grieve with them. The fire was hot, and no one spoke as the pyre burned. What in your past caused you the most grief? What trinket do you recognise in the burned remains? Okay, found people burning funeral pyre. They asked me to join them. What in the past caused me the most grief? What trinket do I recognise in the remains? We have the 7 of spades. You found a well with a soft glow coming from within, and it overwhelmed you with its sweet scent. You hauled up a bucket of pure honey, and amber stickiness dripped between your fingers, your lips, and your legs and your lips. How can such a pure thing survive in the wild? Is it something to share or devour? I mean, obviously it's something I've devoured, hence why it is dripping between my lips. And I must be drinking it very gluttonously if it's also dripping between my legs. I'm imagining like just holding up a bucket to my face and like pouring it in, and just like honey dripping down me. Five of diamonds. You hear a soft hymn, and when you followed the sound, you found an abandoned book, its mouldy pages flipping quickly in the breeze. When the pages stopped, you saw a list containing many names you recognise. All of them were crossed out, except yours. What's become of the people listed within its pages? What have you failed to keep a record of? Keep this card. Next time you're told to pull from the tower, discard this instead. Nice. Okay. Found a mouldy book with many names I recognise, all crossed out except mine. What happened to them? What have I failed to keep track of? They're all people whose birthdays I forgot. Okay, and finally we have the 2 of clubs. You tumbled and rolled into a nearby pond. As you pulled yourself out, you felt the sensation of fingers pressed against your torso and legs. Once out of the water, you found swollen black leeches across your body. What does it cost you to remove the leeches? What made you fall into the pond? Pull from the tower? Nope. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's work out the order of events today. I mean, the faces in the mud, that could explain why I tripped and fell into the pond. Possibly. Let's go for that. Kind of ties into the body part theme as well. Faces in the mud, fingers in the pond. I think since we saw faces in the mud and asked did I recognise any, and we found a book full of many names I recognise, I think maybe the names in the book are going to be... they're going to have some overlap with the faces in the mud. I think that works. Let's maybe have the book first. Today's theme seems to be recognizing things. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I see the dolls and then the funeral pyre happens after that and I see that there is a doll of myself in the flames. The mouldy book, not really sure where to put that. Maybe I'll just keep them in this order. Dear Mary, today I found a huge pile of dolls near the house, only just inside the trees. Who put them there? They were all poorly made. Oh, they were poorly made. But as I picked them up and turned them over, I realised they were all of me. Creepy. I saw a flickering light ahead. And pressed on. Soon I came to a group of people I didn't know. Well, I'd never seen before. Burning a pyre. I could just about make out the body inside. Oh, no, maybe they've been at it for a while, so there isn't really much left. Burning up higher. Yeah, they must have been at it for a while. Because I couldn't see a body inside. Only ash. And a doll. One of the dolls that looked like me. And a doll just like those from the pile. Okay, what in the past caused me the most grief? So maybe I have some memory as I look into the eyes of this burning doll that looks like myself. As I looked into the doll's eyes, I found myself thinking about everything that had gone wrong in my life, everything that had gone up in smoke, opportunities missed, paths not taken. What would my life have been like if I had followed my passions? Let's go with that. I think dissatisfaction with life is a pretty common thing many people experience. I tore myself away from the doll's gaze and staggered away into the woods in a random direction. And found a well. I was thirsty, so I pulled up the buckets. But it was full of pure golden honey. Full not of water, but of pure golden honey. And evidently this character is so crazy already that they're like, a bucket full of honey from a hole in the ground in the woods, I'm gonna drink it. I pulled up a bucket, it was full not of water but of pure golden honey, and couldn't stop myself from greedily guzzling it? Sure. Like, guzzling has a connotation of greediness already. From greedily guzzling it, let's see. It's the most delicious thing I'd ever tasted. How could something this amazing just be here? I'll bring you some too if I can find it again. Then maybe you'll see what I see in the woods. It's scary, but there's also beauty here. It's a very eloquent diary that this person is writing. You know, sometimes I've tried keeping a diary and it's always just like a sentence for each day, and then I give up because every day is basically the same. Maybe if I went into like a creepy forest where people burned giant funeral pyres that were full of dolls that looks exactly like me, and there were wells made of pure honey, Maybe I'd have more exciting things to write into a diary. Okay, so after the honey well, maybe I just wander for a few hours. So I wandered for a few hours without seeing much of anything. Then, I thought I heard some singing. Then when I got closer, it was just an old book. Its pages flapping in the wind. I flipped through it. And it's full of names. Hundreds of them. Hundreds, thousands of them. Almost all crossed out. So it really caught my eye when I saw my name not crossed out. Caught my eye and made me stop. I looked at the names around it, and they were almost all people I knew. People who had died or gone missing. What have I failed to keep a record of? I don't know. Okay, there's people who've died or gone missing. Right, so let's say I put the book down. Put the book down, disturbed, and turned away. A thick mud squelching around my feet. Around my boots. The ground felt weird. The ground felt odd, so I looked down and saw faces. The faces of the names in the book. They smiled at me. They laughed at me. I remembered that are they all people that I've stepped on to get what I want? Feels like a lot of people. Maybe this character is like an investment banker or something, and so they've stepped on a lot of people in their time. I remember that some of them were people who thought I had wronged them. So maybe the character doesn't think they stepped on people, but the people did. In my haste to get away, I got my foot caught in a mouth, felt the teeth give way beneath my boot, and fell into a pond. I felt fingers grasping me. I came out. I was covered in leeches. The faces were staring at me. I'm not crazy. I picked up a tooth I kicked out of the mouth and used it to scrape the leeches off. I'm not crazy. Something that someone crazy would say. Okay, right. Start a new column of our diary. Day 3. Dear Mary. How many cards are we going to draw today? Going to be 6 again. 1. Jack of Diamonds. From one of the few scenic cliffs, you saw large trees move in the distance as if they stood up and decided to root elsewhere. Their roots ripped from the ground and their branches cracked in a horribly loud cacophony. Why do you feel like you're being watched? Are the trees trying to show you something or keep you from discovering more? Search your deck for a joker and move the first one you find to the top of your deck. Okay. Let's try to avoid looking at the card too much as I do so. Okay, there we go. Joker at the top. Okay. I saw the trees walking today. I feel that I was guided to this spot, this view, for a reason. But what are they trying to tell me? Okay, we have our Joker. And we have the 7 of Diamonds. Okay, Jokers. The woods have a mind of their own. The woods are unmappable, not because of the difficult terrain, but because the items within shift of their own accord. The Jokers represent this. When you first draw a Joker, discard it and reshuffle the deck you've been drawing from. Okay, I guess we don't draw this card. Shuffle the deck. Respond to this prompt. For a moment, you lost your way, but something within the darkness pulled you through the woods. Were you being summoned or were you being chased? What marker helps you figure out where you are? What does reshuffling the deck do here? Because I'm not very sure what the point of reshuffling is, because I've not drawn any of these cards yet, so I don't know the order of these cards. It doesn't say I shuffle things back in. Okay. Well, that's shuffled. Now let's draw the card. Okay, right, so. Dear Mary, let's start with the Joker prompt. That feels fitting. For a moment I was lost, truly lost. I didn't just know, I didn't just not know the way home, I knew there was no way home. I guess this can help us determine what happened. So we got the 9 of spades. Red droplets dripped from a collection of small animals, frogs, mice and birds, impaled on branches above you. The further you walked, the larger in size the creatures became, from rabbits to bears. Does the blood feel warm and cleansing, or cold and sticky? What have you failed to preserve? Okay. Dear Mary, for a moment I was lost, truly lost. I didn't just not know the way home, I knew there was no way home. I saw a trail ahead and took it, not knowing what else to do. In the trees. Bad side of the trail. Small animals were impaled on branches. There. I feel like they've been there a little bit, so maybe like there's dried blood on the ground. In the trees by the side of the trail, small animals were impaled on branches, the path lined with their dried blood. The animals got bigger as I followed it. Eventually, I walked beneath a bear suspended between 2 trees. And then I could see home again. Another 2. Got the 4 of spades and then the 6 of diamonds. Day 5. You walked up on a group of women sitting in a circle, embroidering a round tapestry shared amongst them. They ushered you over to admire their work. One woman said, "The thread of life is always measured before it's cut." Then she pointed to a section of the tapestry. What brief glimpse into the future does the tapestry give you? Do you wish you could change it? Look at the next card in the deck and read the first sentence or 2 of its corresponding prompts. Once finished, put the card back on top of the deck. So I mean, I guess that means I draw. Oh, hang on, no. I think you draw all the cards and then you resolve. So this is going to be looking at the next. Let's see. Look back at the how to play. Yes, okay. So you draw all of the cards and then you resolve them in order. So I'm going to get a glimpse of the top of the deck, which is the Ace of Clubs. And what was it? I looked at the first sentence. First sentence or 2. Okay. You dreamt the wood spoke to you, but you didn't understand the language. That's a good thing to read. Okay. Okay, and then we have the 6 of diamonds. You weren't sure you believed your eyes, but standing in front of you was a pet that had passed years ago. It's got to be the pet that... It's got to be Monty. Where was Monty? Monty! Who died straining to lay an egg. Monty could either be a bird or a snake, I'm not sure. Some sort of egg-laying, maybe even a platypus. Some sort of egg-laying creature. Okay, so you weren't sure you believed your eyes, but standing in front of you was a pet that had passed years ago. It looked at you curiously, then walked further into the woods. What strange sound did you hear coming from the direction it walked? If you followed, what terrible truth did it show you? It said that Monty is a bird. And I'm going to follow Monty. Okay, right, so... these things feel like they could be connected. I like how I seem to be getting, like... Some of it's a little bit tenuous. Some of the days feel like I'm kind of getting a theme, just totally, like, unintentionally, so... Like today the theme seems to be like the past and the future. Okay, so what was the not spades, clubs. You dreamt the wood spoke to you but you didn't understand the language. I think I do wish I could change the future. I want to understand. Dear Mary, I went very deep into the woods today, looking for new places. I walked so far, but it didn't feel like that much time passed. I heard laughter. And talking. Women's voices. I came closer. I went closer. And saw... It's got to be 3 women, right? If these people are the Fates, there's got to be 3 of them. A young woman, a middle-aged woman, and an old woman. The old woman beckoned me over and told me to look. I did, and saw myself and the woods. They were speaking to me, but I did not understand. I wish I could. What did they say? The thread of life is always measured before it's cut. The old woman beckoned me over and told me to look. I did, and saw myself and the woods. They were speaking to me, but I did not understand. I wish I could. The old woman said the thread of life is always measured before it is cut, and then they and the tapestry were gone. As I turned to go, I saw a bird in the path looking at me oddly. It took me a moment to realise. But somehow it was Monty. I guess she, laying eggs. She helped her into the trees, and I followed. She slips out of sight somehow, but I could hear something, a straining grunt, like a grunting sound. A grunting sound and a tearing noise. Must be an awful phrase to hear as you come back from the ads. A grunting sound and a tearing noise. So as I turned to go, I saw a bird in the path looking at me oddly. It took me a moment to realise. Somehow it was Monty. She hopped away into the trees and I followed. She slipped out of sight, but I could hear something, a grunting and a tearing noise. When I rounded the corner, I saw... could make this really gruesome. Yeah, let's make this truly horrible. I saw my father with Monty, who was struggling with a large egg. And he had a knife. There was so much blood. He looks... He looks drunk. Yeah. Drunkard animal abusing father. Let's go with it. He was yelling at Monty for making so much noise, so just hold still and let him help with the egg. I thought Monty died while laying an egg. I don't really know much about eggs. He died of natural causes. Sure, let's go with that. Not this. Thought Monty died of natural causes. Not this. Okay, so our pet Monty, some sort of bird, evidently a childhood pet. Was laying an egg one day and was being very loud about it, and our drunkard father was like, "I'll cut the egg out. Stop making so much noise." Oh, this is horrible. Why did I do this? Day 6. I like how at the beginning I said, it's got content warnings, but I won't have anything, too horrible in stream. So just be careful, because things might be on the PDF, which is on screen, even if I don't read them out. And then I'm writing and narrating this stuff. Okay, what have we got? 2 again. Oh, rolling a lot of 2s now. We've got that ace. Who could have seen this coming? And we also have the 10 of hearts. You dreamt the woods spoke to you, but you didn't understand the language. When you woke, you found a paper in your hand with ritual instructions. Collect the raw tongues of a bird, frog, salamander, and a rabbit. Once collected, chew them up in front of a tree painted with your blood and spit at its roots. What happens if you perform the ritual? How do the instructions find their way into your hand? If you've already drawn the king of clubs, shuffle it back into the deck, then discard this card. I don't believe I've drawn any kings yet. No, the highest valued card I've drawn is a queen. Okay. And the 10 of hearts. I mean, obviously I'm going to do the ritual. I'm crazy enough to do the ritual. Rumours suggest the woods are sick, like something eats at the roots. Large sections of forest are plagued with sticky black leaves. Some say it's the results of locals forgetting the old ways. What evidence do you find that supports this theory? Do you attempt to make up for what's been forgotten? I think these two things tie together. A weird forest ritual and then the old ways being forgotten. You know, maybe doing the ritual will give me a better appreciation of the old ways and I can follow those to, you know, make the woods better. Also, I'm just thinking, I've not pulled from the tower in a few days, which is maybe good. But, you know, having said that, probably going to get a bunch of pull from the tower cards coming up. Though the deck is... yeah, there's a fair few cards left, but there is a joker in here somewhere that will cause me to lose the game immediately. Because it said your second joker, you lose. Okay, right. So... today I took a nap and I dreamt the woods were talking to me, but I could not understand. It was just what I saw in the tapestry. I woke up with some paper in my pocket describing a ritual in my own handwriting. But I didn't bring this with me. Or paper. Or a pen. Spent the rest of the day gathering the components. The less said about that, the better. And enacted the ritual. I feel so close to the woods now. So much more in tune. I think I know what to do about the sickness, about the black leaves caused by people forgetting. Just give it time. And all will be better. I'm, out in the woods doing something. Some sort of old ways thing. Alright, day 7. 6 cards. Three of hearts. Careful what you seek to unravel, says an old woman stacking small round stones as you passed her. She did not stop her task to look at you. Is she building a monument, a shelter, or a gravestone? What do you make of her warning? I have another ace. The ace of spades. You found the ruins of an abandoned house. It was filled with dust, cobwebs, rotting furniture, and waterlogged books. You were surprised to find a small flame in the hearth of the fireplace, with fragments from your journal used as kindle. Why is this crumbling building better than your current home? What pages from your journal have been burned? How do you think the pages got here? Decide which of your journal entries you find burned and cross them out in your journal. If you have the Ace of Hearts, add 2 pieces of nature to it. I do not have the Ace of Hearts. Okay. We have the 7 of diamonds. You found a large crumbling goat statue covered in lichen, arms outstretched as if cradling something. In front of the statue, a wide stump acted as a pedestal for a fresh flower crown. What vision did the statue grant you when you put the crown on? Have you ever dreamt of being royalty? You may peek at the next 5 cards in the deck and rearrange them in whatever order you think favourable. Okay, let's look at the next 5 cards. Rearrange them in whatever order you think favourable. I mean, aces seem good, and there was a king mentioned, so let's put the ace and the king at the top. But I'm afraid it is not going to matter, because I've also drawn the second joker. When you draw the second joker, you're lost. Turn to the lost one ending on page 35. Lost one, draw 2 jokers. If you have the Ace of Hearts and have collected at least 4 nature tokens, you feel a strong connection to the woods. If you have the courage, you may find your way out and continue playing the game. Are you able? If so, discard the jokers and continue playing. If you're too weak to go on, or if you don't have at least 4 nature tokens, continue reading. You've seen the same stump 5 times now. You're walking in circles, even though you swear you're walking straight. The sun is low and night will find you soon. Something in the woods says, I can help. I can lead you out. Someone else says, no, let me. And another voice, no, 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 it's my turn. You see no one, but you can sense they're closing in. Do you walk until you can no longer move? Do you let the voices find you? Is your death one of slow torture or a painfully quick feast? Do you feel like it was worth it? I think our body is found several days later, not actually very far into the woods. quite close to the border, as if we were rejected, but somehow we have plants growing over and out of us as if we've been there for months. But it's been a matter of days. And that's the end of that story. The other cards we drew were the 6 of clubs and the Queen of Diamonds. Okay. That was pretty fun. I liked that. I like the diary approach. Like writing a diary for other people, for writing a diary for our loved ones, to be read if we disappear, which we did. Though I guess a couple of journal entries have been lost. So maybe let's decide which ones were lost. Obviously day 7 is gone because day 7 is the day that we disappeared, but let's say like 2 pages were missing. I don't know, day 3 is pretty innocuous, so let's strike out day 3. Oh, I've got day 3 twice. Off by 1. No. Okay, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we did last a full week at least. Then again, we started on day 2, so kind of not. Maybe day 7 as well. So these are the journal entries that were being burned as kindling in the fireplace. Okay, so we ended with 24 dice left in our tower. So we could have survived a fair bit longer, but sadly, all things must come to an end. Let's have a look what other endings we've got. So I don't want to read the details because I'll probably replay this. So the voluntary ending, we can choose to leave the woods, the severed ties. The tower can fall. If we get 4 kings, we have a failure. We got the Joker ending, we're lost. And then we have different endings for the Ace of Hearts. For the Ace of Hearts, depending on what happens with the tower. Okay. What's this? Deforestation. Welcome back to the civilized world. At least that's what we tell ourselves. We are civilized. But maybe we just don't understand the old provincial ways. Are you happy to have a dwelling? Do you feel safe with the woods at bay? If you play this game again, how will your character be different? I feel I didn't really think that much about my character before diving into this, which was bad because a lot of the prompts were about what I've done or who I've wronged or that sort of thing. So I think having a solid understanding of who the character is before playing is essential for next time. So that's what I would do. I have a strange relationship with the woods. Much of my young life was spent at the end of a rural road with miles of trees surrounding me, and beyond that, fields and fields of crops, usually corn. Sometimes I celebrated this isolation, and other days it scared me. The darkness that settles beneath the trees, away from people, is full of mysteries. Beady eyes that stare back at you, human-like trills, branches that lack personal space, and whatever fears you bring with you. Despite that, I'd walk alone in those same woods during the day. Only when I walked deep into the woods, resting where the brook bubbled, did a creeping dread take hold of my chest and jerk me into a fast run home. This is a game about the woods. This is a game about what we've forgotten. Within. Yep, that was pretty cool. Now, if we draw the Ace of Hearts, the woods might start to leave their marks on you, so we can use these tables to help with that. Always enjoy random tables. Okay, that was Carved by the Garden. pretty cool. I guess we will wrap things up here. So let's see if there's anyone suitable to raid online. I don't think so from anyone I follow. No. Okay, we'll just end here then. So thanks for watching. On Friday we'll be continuing with Astro Prisma. We'll potentially be filling in the last few blank spaces in the Astro Prisma map, but I don't know because they are spread out a little bit. And of course, just filling in all the spaces isn't the whole game. So still many more sessions in Astro Prisma ahead. And then on Saturday we'll be playing possibly the final session of the Seance of Blake Manor, the video game, as we're now on the last day of the game, so the mystery is surely coming to a head, but I could easily imagine there being another session after this one, but we'll see. Okay, thanks for watching, and see